Hello, my friends. This is LaVonna Hawkins here to visit with you today. We're going to share some poetry together. We're going to say a poem together, and then we're going to write a poem together. And I'm really looking forward to it. I hope that you are too. The poem that we're going to say together is Hope is a Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. It's kind of interesting because Emily Dickinson didn't name her poems. She loved to write them, and she wrote them with the same beat as what the human heart beats. Isn't that interesting? But she never titled them. So usually we just call her poems by whatever the first line is. And the first line of this poem is Hope is the Thing with Feathers. And you don't have to already know it because we're going to say it together. I will say a line, and then you will say a line. So when I am speaking, I will say this, and I will say the line. And when I give the line to you, then you will say the line. And I will be quiet, and I will let you have your turn to say it. So let's just practice it with the first line, and then we'll do the whole poem together. So if I say, Hope is the thing with feathers. Now I give you the line, and you say it back to me. There you go. So I say, Hope is the thing with feathers. And then you say, there you go. Say it back to me. That's the way we're going to do the whole poem. So, hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land, and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity. It asked a crumb of me. Thank you for saying that with me all the way through. Isn't that beautiful? That hope, it's a light thing like feathers, and yet it's what gives our whole life meaning, isn't it? And it never asks anything back. Hope just gives us things. So that's the poem that we say together. And now we're going to write a poem and this poem is an imaginary poem. If you could close your eyes and go anywhere in the whole world, where would you go? Just think for a moment in your mind. If you could just become light like a feather, like that feather of hope, and your body could just float away and you could fly, where would you go to? It might be somewhere very close, maybe somewhere right here in Champaign, or maybe it's somewhere very, very far away, somewhere exotic like the Wall of China, or down to the bottom of the ocean, or up to the top of the highest mountains. Wherever it is that you want to go, you have the power to go in your imagination. So you can just close your eyes and decide, where is that place? Where is that place that you would go? And then we're going to think about if we needed to go there, there would be 3 parts to the journey. There would be preparing for it, and then there would be the journey itself, and then there would be arriving at the destination. So we'll think about that. And when you're in flight, when you're actually in the sky, what does that feel like? Can you think of 3 words that you would describe that? How would you describe that feeling? Maybe 3 words that you might do that. Maybe you'd like to write those 3 words down, or you can just hold them in your mind. Or maybe there's a gesture that you'd like to do. If it's not a word, is there just a way that you can move that would tell us how you would feel? What would you do with your hands that would show that you are flying? What would you do with your hands to show someone that you're flying and what it felt like to be flying? You've got a paper there that will help us write this poem of what the journey is going to be like. So at the top of the page, there's a blank, "We're flying to." So wherever you have decided to go on our journey, you can write that right there in the blank. Flying to, and put down the word that is your destination. That's the place you want to go in your imagination. And the next 3 lines are for the 3 words that describe how you would feel. Well, first we would have the preparation and the takeoff. Just think about what that would feel like. What would it feel like? Would you need to run? Would there be something that would make you move really fast? What would that feel like to be preparing to go into the sky? And then what would it feel like just as you took off? And then write down the 3 words that would feel like once you were there in the sky and moving towards your destination. Then you're going to see on your piece of paper the word "with." As you're flying there in the sky, I want you to be able to reach out your hand and take the hand of someone that you can take on this journey with you. Who do you want to reach out and take a hold of and say, "Come to my special place with me"? Let's put their name right there on that line that says "with." With so-and-so. Now you're in the sky and you're with this special person. You have their hand. We have 3 lines next on your piece of paper. I want you to list 3 things that you can see while you're flying. What are 3 things that while you're flying, if you in your imagination, while you're there in the sky journeying to this new place, what would you see while you were there? 3 things. Or if you only want to write 2 things, that's okay as well. And if you decide on 4, that's good too. I gave you 3 lines. So after you have written down your 3 things that you see, you're going to see the words "preparing to land." So what does it feel like inside your body? As your body, you can see your destination, where you're headed to, and you need to prepare inside your body to be ready to land in this new place. And here it comes, the landing. We're back down on Earth, but here you are in this new spot that you've decided to go to in your imagination. So on the next line, write the name of that place that you have arrived at. And then you have a line to write the feeling. What do you feel like when you arrive there? When you have arrived at this place that you could go to in your imagination? What feeling does that give you inside? And there's one more line blank there. How long will you stay? On on that line. Maybe you would write forever. Maybe you would write 3 days. Maybe you would write 3 minutes or whatever. However long you decide you want to stay in that place. That's what you write on that last line. There you go. So you just became a poet, and you have written an entire poem of flying to a special place. And you could use your feathers, your hope feathers from Emily Dickinson's poem to arrive there. I got this idea for this poem of imaginary flight from Anne Basting from Time Slips. I definitely didn't come up with this one all by myself. And there are some other very creative ideas that she has in a series of webinars on the website Time Slips, if you'd like to look at those, and some other ones. And I'm going to be sharing some of the other ones with you as well. And I look forward to doing that. Thank you for going on this imaginary flight with me. I'd love to hear your poems. If you want to send some of them to me, or you can call me and tell them to me. The staff there, your friends, have my contact information, and I would really love to hear what some of the poems are that you've come up with. So until we can visit again, I'll see you next time, and we'll share another poem together. We'll say one together, and then we'll write one together. Okay?